Sangha viewers. Today is seventh day of Navratri. As part of our 24 by 7 programs in Divine Feminine Sangha, today we have a special guest, Anand Karneshji, with us. A small intro about him. Anand Karneshji is the founder of The Path of Joy, a non-profit educational and humanitarian organization. He is also the founder of Devi and Deva Circles. Ananda Karunesh envisions the co-creation of a new matriarchal earth with a divine partnership between human beings, Mother Earth, and many ascended goddesses, gods, and Buddhas. His first book, A Thousand Seeds of Joy, is a channeled teachings of goddesses Lakshmi and Saraswati. And this book has touched the hearts of millions of people from different belief systems, religions, and faiths. The book has been translated into multiple languages and was chosen as the first Bible for the PSSM organization by our beloved Guruji, Brahmarshi Pitamaha Patriji, in 2019. Also in 2019, Anand Karneshi channeled a breath process called Devi Kriya through Goddess Parvati that energizes, cleanses, and harmonizes the chakra system of the human body. More recently, he has helped in the creation of 8 Devi workshops, which bring together the healing and transformation work of many highly gifted and experienced women teachers from all over the world. Also, Anand Karneshi is a professor of finance and also served as the head of the finance department at Eisenberg School of Management. He believes in finance of the heart and teaches a course in sustainable finance dealing with climate change, social injustice, economic inequality, food shortage, and other sustainability issues affecting planet Earth. He is also currently working on his next book, A Thousand Flowers of Joy, channeled by Goddess Parvati. We are all waiting for that book, sir. Without any delay, let us welcome our special guest, Anand Karneshi. Welcome, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Paranita ji. Thank you, everybody, for being here, joining today's session. So wonderful. We will talk about the book and how is it going, the program, the DFS of your sessions. Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Navratri. Yes.
Yes, Navaratri programs. We have
Wonderful.
multiple languages and 24 by 7 different speakers across the world are coming, and music meditations and even kids programs. Everything is going wonderfully.
Okay.
Thank you so
So
much
I
for joining
guess
us in this application.
this is maybe not showing participants or
Yes,
I'm
sir.
showing.
As I mentioned, this is only for speakers and organizers. Zoom is only for speakers and organizers
So there are a lot of people on YouTube who are
on YouTube.
watching.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So yeah, welcome everybody. I like to see everybody, but I'm not seeing anybody, but I'm assuming you are there. We have a soul connection and we can touch each other from there. Yes. So let us begin our session today. So let me um, let me just put the settings right. Okay, so let us begin. We have how long, Paranita ji? About 1 hour, right?
It is 1.5 hours, sir. So at the end, we can share the music and we can do meditation.
Okay, so we will do questions. Uh, I was thinking maybe we'll start with a meditation
Yes,
and
sir.
then later on we can take questions after about an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So today's topic, the book for today is this. You can see the little plastic wrap, so this won't spoil the book. It has Devi circles mentioned at the back of the book. This Devi circle is a profound movement begun with the blessings of goddesses. The inspiration came from Lakshmi ji many years ago, 15 years ago, and now it is manifesting. And those of you who may not be aware, these are beautiful workshops that are happening, and they're global in nature. Though most people who join are from India, many women, but there are people from the US and also Europe, they're joining, and profound energies are flowing. Goddesses have said so, and they are doing so. The women, and we've had even Deva circles, but mostly Devi circles, and the women who are managing these, they can actually feel the energies coming into these workshops. Many women have actually had these experiences where they are actually seeing Devi Ma, they're seeing Lakshmi Ma, they're seeing Saraswati Ma, some are seeing Kali Ma. So these Devi circles are meant to grow all over the world, and they unite the whole planet. So it's not just, we're talking only India. We have Western goddesses in these, many of them. We have Mary Magdalene, we have Mother Mary, we have Gaia, there are Buddhist goddesses like Kuan Yin and Tara. So uh, that's what I wanted to say, that the Devi circle has got a lot of energy, and we will talk about that more later. But we'll go back to the book. The book is now in its fourth year, in its third print run. It's coming out in different languages. It's out in Telugu. It's being translated in Tamil and Marathi. And the Hindi version has been a bit of a challenge because I've yet not approved the versions that have been created because translation is difficult, translation requires not going word to word, so that's coming though for many people who would like to read it in Hindi. Now, today's topic, let's focus on just 3 words, and we'll start with a meditation on these 3 words. And as we go dive deeper into these 3 words, we will process things in our mind, in our body, and it'll just open up, hopefully it'll open up more vast spaces in your being. That's my goal. So let's do that in the next maybe 20 minutes. Then we'll talk about some knowledge, and then we'll get into some question answers. Good? Okay. So the 3 words are: emptiness is fullness. So close your eyes, wherever you are, in whatever place you are, empty it a little bit more. Ground yourself. Feel the weight of your body. See if the weight of your body is more to the left or the right. And try to balance it. Feel your spine. Are you sitting straight? If you're sitting on the ground, maybe you want to add some more supports so that your body has some support on which you're sitting so that your back is straight. If you're sitting on the chair, just adjust yourself a little bit. So the way it moves is your lower back comes closer to the stomach, towards the stomach, lower back pushes, and your chest pushes back. So become more straighter. Feel the weight of your body in a balanced way. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Take another deep breath. And breathe out. With your breath, Start feeling the body. Notice that as you breathe in, you're aware of the breath going from your nostrils, touching your throat, into your lungs, into the deep lower part of the lungs, the diaphragm, opening the diaphragm, and then breathing out. Take another deep breath and notice as you inhale, your entire body inhales a little bit. Inhale movement makes even the skin inhale. Even the skin is breathing. Just become aware of this whole body breathing and breathing out. Keep feeling your body's weight, and keep breathing in this whole body way. Become aware of the sounds in the environment. If there are no sounds, there are always some sounds, but even if there are no sounds, there is the sound of silence, like you can hear it, sound of nature. If you're lucky to be in a place that has no sounds, let the sounds flow in your body without any trace of judgment. Meditation is not about eliminating anything. Meditation is about merging. Completely merge with the sound. No judgments. Every sound is beautiful, melodious. Sound of the fan, sound of traffic, sound of an animal barking, dog barking. Every sound has a sensation. Feel it for the sound. Sound is the way to the divine. From the most inanimate objects, they say now in physics that even small elementary particles like electrons, they're made of these one-dimensional strings that are vibrating. All is created through vibration. We live in a sounding universe. So surrender to sound. It can open up the door to the infinite. Now let's go back to the theme of the meditation. Emptiness is fullness. Think of your thoughts. Think of your thoughts as a wind energy, wind lightly touching you. welcoming the wind. You may have been told, focus on your breath and just pay attention to your thoughts. And let's enhance that understanding. Let's welcome the thoughts. Focus on your breath, of course. Keep watching your breath. And welcome any thought that desires to come, that has come. Do not judge the thoughts. They're like energies. You're merging thinking with emptiness. Think about that. Let me repeat. You are merging thinking with emptiness. We are not desiring for thoughts to not come. We are not desiring to empty our mind. We're simply merging emptiness, which is also called shunyata. We are merging this shunyata, this complete divine emptiness, with our thoughts. Keep breathing. Can you feel thoughts as being empty? Let us say a thought comes and it's a little heavy thought. It is about a judgment of somebody in your life, who's difficult in your life. So see that image. Either this person does not like you, or for some other reasons, you have had issues with this person. So the thought has come. Let us welcome the thought. Do not judge yourself for thinking this thought. Just welcome it. Welcome it in your whole being, with your heart. No resistance. And as this thought and the energy and the weight comes in of this difficult person in your life, see how you can expand this thought. So emptiness, the door to emptiness is expansion. Didn't we say fullness is emptiness? Emptiness is fullness. So expand this thought. See it in your whole body. This feeling of contention, not being liked, having some issue, whatever it may be. Feel it throughout your body without any judgment. Let the mind go in all over your body. That's one level of expansion. Then see everybody in this world have people who are difficult for them. Everybody. See everybody's body, accepting these thoughts completely. No resistance. We're all in the same boat. Our minds are very similar. Now, for yourself and for everybody, can you see emptiness as you expand this thought? The thought has no weight. Don't judge the thought. Welcome it in your body and feel the emptiness. Expand whatever you feel is a negative thought and even emotion. Arouse any emotion that you are dealing with. Are you dealing with anger these days? Are you dealing with jealousy? Are you dealing with hate? Anything that you are dealing with, expand it, welcome it. If there is anger, don't judge the anger. With your breath, feel into it. Become curious. Invite the anger all over you, your entire body, especially your solar plexus. All of it is welcoming the emotion, whether it is anger or hate, anything that is coming, your whole body is welcoming it. You've expanded the emotion and see the suffering everywhere in the world. Everybody is dealing with emotions. See everybody's emotions filling up their bodies. No judgment, it's just energy moving. And then after you've expanded it, welcomed it, see the emptiness. The emotion is empty. If you resist an emotion, it persists. Completely accept it, welcome it, fill your world with it, fill everybody's world with it, the same emotion, and see how empty it is. It's just empty of the energy. Keep watching your breath. Keep feeling the sounds. Keep feeling the weight of your body. And as thoughts and emotions arise, welcome them like the wind. Totally embrace them and see emptiness in that fullness. Keep doing this. You have to meet thoughts and emotions. You have to be open to them. The whole mind, you can be open to it. Welcome it. It is like the iceberg in a lake. If the lake welcomes the iceberg with its warm water around, the iceberg starts melting. The ice of the iceberg becomes the water of the whole lake. So the mind energy, don't judge it as negative or positive. If there are negative emotions, judgments, initially welcome them as a witness. Do not judge them, just let them come in. Just like the breath comes in, let the thinking come in. And then it dissolves into emptiness. Keep breathing. This is the divine feminine way. It's a way of merging. The masculine way is to separate it, to focus hard and say, I want an empty mind, and work hard to obtain an empty mind. The feminine way is just merging. If anything negative comes, we don't see it as negative. Let it expand into your being, and inherently everything is empty. All is created out of emptiness. We join with the sense of emptiness. Keep joining everything with emptiness. And then you have total freedom. There's no resistance. Keep breathing, watching your breath. Anything comes like the wind, thoughts or emotions. Feel the expansion, dissolution, and emptiness. Invite them with expansion and emptiness. And a joy starts arising because you're not trapped by your thoughts anymore. As soon as they arise, you feel the profound emptiness. All form is made out of the formless. All of creation is made out of emptiness. Joining emptiness in fullness is the joining of the feminine and the masculine. You become aware of your environment, the room you're in. Feel what is here and now. See that profound emptiness with no judgments in what is here and now. Everything around you has a sense of emptiness. Like children, they feel everything with a sense of emptiness. Nothing matters. Become aware of your body. Slowly move your toes and your fingers. Keep feeling your breath. And when you're ready, take your hands to your eyes. And when you're ready, you can slowly, very slowly open your eyes. Okay, so hopefully that was a good meditation. And we can continue now.
Yes, sir. That was an amazing meditation, very deeply relaxing. Just felt the complete body is rejuvenated and just as I touched the emptiness and the game came back. It was so joyful and wonderful, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. So that part is the first part of the book. This is Saraswati Ji's wisdom. Emptiness is fullness. And so we can talk a little bit about that, right? And, the book has 7 parts. So the first part is dealing with all the concepts about the mind. So once we can empty our mind, then when we read the stories of Lakshmi Ji, which are stories of, her incarnations, she took so many incarnations, all the way from Ramayana as Sita, then as Radha, then as Rukmini, as Draupadi, as Yashodhara, all of these incarnations. Then once we've read the first part, we can have new eyes to look at what we're reading. from a place of emptiness and not from our conditioning of scriptures. So that is why that part comes first. And there's beautiful wisdom in this part. Saraswati ji takes consciousness and divides that basically in four parts: mind consciousness, body consciousness, soul consciousness, and the divine higher self consciousness. Simple division. There are many ways to divide, but this really helps you. So the basic wisdom in the book is mind is the most dense. We think body is denser, but that's not true. The falling is from lighter to denser. So in evolution, we fell from, the lighter divine being wanted to expand in greater version of itself. So it created its opposite, which is all of creation, all the universe. So that begins the falling. And then as we fall, trees are very empty. They have a profound joy about them. Animals get a little bit less empty. They have to run around to get food. But even when you look in the eyes of your dog, you see that profound emptiness, profound love, which is there in like a 2-year-old child, the way they look at you with that intensity. So that emptiness is there even in animals, but it's become less. Then in humans, when you look at people who are connected more to nature, even some tribes, the way they live, they have a sense of emptiness. That profound connection with nature is there. One of my favorite movies is Avatar, where you can feel that divine connection with nature. That connection of emptiness becomes even less as we become civilized, we come into the mind, and then slowly the mind just takes over more and more. So the density becomes the highest in human incarnation, especially in Kali Yuga. And the density of the mind, that's the most dense thing in the world is the human mind. And that iceberg, which is so dense, we have to dissolve it. So body is less dense than the mind. Mind is even denser. So you take what is more dense, the iceberg, and put it in the water of the body, which is the lake around the iceberg. So anything that comes, any thoughts, thinking, feel them in your body with the breath. How many years you've spent in some emotion because you've just stayed in the mind around the ego. You've forgotten your body. Nobody told you that you can feel them in your body. It's like feeling the iceberg in the lake. As you feel the mind in your body, something starts happening. So that's why you have to expand first. If a thought comes, let it be. If emotion comes, expand it in your body. And everywhere, everybody's body. Feel it all over the earth, if you have to. Let that emotion expand. It's like iceberg going into the lake, it's expanding. And what will happen to the iceberg? It will lose its nature. Mind dissolving in the body will lose its nature. It won't grip you. But if you remain in the iceberg, frozen with fear, frozen with anger, frozen with hate, then you'll remain there. Our journey of the soul from life after life is all about this. Karma is all about this. How can you dissolve by merging? We're never saying we're concentrating and wanting to find an empty mind. No. We take our mind, we embrace it, we welcome our emotions, and we merge with the body. So, this is a second level of consciousness from the iceberg to the lake. Then we take the body, and Saraswati ji defines the third level of consciousness, which is all these infinite, invisible realms of the soul itself. You see, the physical universe is a very small part of the immensity of the infinity. You may have read or heard in Buddhism, they call some book Kaya realms. These are higher heavens, planes of existence which have very low density, almost very, very, very low. They're just realms of light. And those are vaster, much bigger than the physical universe, as big as the universe is. The universe is very big. It has, trillions of, stars and hundreds of billions of galaxies. It's very, very big. And yet, the invisible is even much vaster. The whole universe would be a point compared to the invisible. The invisible soul realms, high heavens, there are many levels, higher dimensions. They are filled with unconditionality. The conditional world is the physical world, cause and effect, karma. The soul realms are unconditional. Love exists just unconditionally. That's the energy of Sambhogakaya. Compassion, infinite compassion. It's just the energy of that. All the feelings of the soul that Saraswati ji defines. And these feelings, they can be also called energies, because feelings also has a slight attachment to emotion, but these are pure feelings. So you can think of them as pure energies. Parvati ji likes to call them pure energies, unconditional feelings. They're vast, they're infinite. Emotions are finite. Emotions like attachment, even to your family, I love my child. It can be unconditional and infinite, but if you put some attachment to it, if you're attached to how your son or daughter does in something, how they look, if they're overweight, you want them to reduce their weight and you get too attached to that, let's say. That's not unconditional love. And the child sees it and they can feel it. If a father or a mother is attached to the success of their child, I'm saying attachment. There's nothing wrong in being successful. But if you're attached to it, the child will notice it and they'll rebel against it. If you let the child just be without the attachment, just love them unconditionally from a place of emptiness, from your soul to their soul, they'll blossom to their highest potential. It is when they sense your fear that infects their mind. So love can be both emotional love, conditional, attached, or it can be unconditional, soul love. So, third level of consciousness is about infinite love, infinite joy, infinite bliss, infinite compassion, infinite peace, peace like abundant peace, total peace, and amazing freedom, immense freedom, infinite freedom. That's the place of soul consciousness. And the whole universe is created out of the soul consciousness by, let's say, twisting, curving of the soul consciousness, and that creates a universe, becomes dense. It's like a ball of threads, just gets very jumbled up, and then you have a tight ball. Soul feelings are not jumbled up, they're pure, unconditional, infinite. But because your higher self wants to know its opposite, to expand itself, it creates these levels of falling where soul feelings twist themselves into the universe, matter, and from the universe comes nature, trees, plants, animals, humans, from soul to the body, and then human mind is the most dense, going into the density of emotions. That's our falling. So, divine feminine path begins where it ends. This is true of all divine feminine paths. In Buddhism, also, there is Vajrayana path. There's Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. In Vajrayana, you begin where you end. So you take yourself as a divine being, a goddess, a god, who's filled with emptiness and fullness. Your light is the light of love. You project light in all directions. Your infinite love. Just assume it, just visualize it. Your infinite compassion, your infinite forgiveness. There's a mention of close to 54 soul feelings in the book. These are all feelings that are expanding into infinity. And they're always dissolving your ego. So if you have unconditional love, you'll always love. Even if somebody else is having a issue that seems egotistical, you will surrender to love. You will see their mind is frozen, they're acting out of density, but you recognize the divine in them. You see, even they have come to experience the opposite. They're also expanding themselves. So you see that and you forgive it and you move on. You just see the divine in each other. That's how the divine feminine path works. And it's not about separating anything. We're not separating from the iceberg. The water, the ocean is completely accepting the lakes. The lakes are completely accepting the iceberg. There's no separation. Feminine is a way of joining. So with infinite love, you recognize the soul. And the body surrenders to that. You can do physical processes like devotion to merge with, on your altar, to merge with a divine being. But it is not like traditional bhakti where you become, you become attached. You become like only my God or my way is the way. No. You understand devotion is the way. If somebody is devoted to Jesus Christ, you feel that joy. Oh, how good, how lovely. And you can be devoted to Lakshmi Ji or Lord Ganesha. Doesn't matter. It's the devotion that is the way. Through that devotion, you can increase and expand the process. You can see yourself as only praying to them as if they are higher. And as you do that more and more, and you empty out your emotions and you become love, slowly you start seeing yourself as them. So if you're empty enough, look at Lakshmi Ji, look at Saraswati Ji, and then switch. See yourself in Lakshmi Ji. See it is you who is sitting there at the altar. See Lakshmi Ji in you. You as Lakshmi Ji are praying to Lakshmi Ji. Can you do that? It's a way of merging. If you always see the divine being as higher than you and you lower, you will not be able to completely merge. So all the qualities of a divine being, Lakshmi Ji, Saraswati Ji, Parvati Ji, Mother Mary, all those qualities become your qualities when you do such activation. So this is the next stage. And the final stage is always emptiness. Final stage is we dissolve. We dissolve the divine being into light. So even on your altar, you can see Lakshmi Ji dissolving into light, spark of light, dissolve, completely gone. So this is a more advanced way of devotion. Generation, then joining, merging, becoming one another, and then dissolving. And as you dissolve into the emptiness, that shunya, that's your higher self. That's the fourth level. The fourth level is the ocean. It is where it is. The ocean is not like a river. It doesn't have to go anywhere. It just sits where it is. That's who you really are. You are that divine being. Can you be that? And the way to that is expansion and emptiness. If the mind comes like the iceberg expanded into your body, don't reject it. Feed it. If hate comes, let the hate go all over your body, into the earth, into the universe. It's everywhere, filled everything. As you do that, the nature of hate has to change. It has to dissolve. It'll become love. It becomes the body, and then that same energy comes as soul feelings. The soul feelings will take it up, and all of it will become just love. And that's the way of merging. So this is the basic knowledge in the first part of the book. And it talks about Vedas and Vedanta, how initially Vedas were not corrupt. They came out of Brahma. And the saints and the sages would use, certain herbs and flowers and certain rituals just to enhance the law of attraction, to manifest the highest good of all. But slowly, the patriarchy came. And the male priests, some of them who could not directly feel the energy of the herbs and the flowers, like Sita Mata does. You might have read the book Untold Story of Sita also, in which Sita is so connected in her childhood to herbs and flowers and everything. When the male priests could not feel these energies, they started doing these big shows, Adambar, you call it, like big yagyas and, sacrifices. And the bigger it became like more legitimate. But this was due to the lack of the inner richness, the inner connection. So Vedas became corrupted, and Buddha and Mahavir, they rebelled against them, they rejected all of it. And rejecting all of it was necessary on those paths because they were too big. If you did not reject them and just tried to change them, it was impossible. So they just created another path. But what did Saraswati do? The way of the merging. Saraswati created Vedanta out of Vedas. Remember the story in the scriptures where she is late for her wedding with Lord Brahma, and then she comes, and then Brahmaji already has Gayatri because the yagya has a particular timing, it has to start. And then Saraswati ji speaks these words. These words were not curses, she says. These words just showed to the gods that were present how they'll go into their journeys. How Vishnu will go into the journey in Ramayana and in Buddhism, and how all of them, all of the gods, Shiva, Parvati, everybody would go into their journeys. And what are those journeys? Those journeys have created Vedanta. So Saraswati ji found a way to go from Vedas to Vedanta. And Vedanta, which is called the end of the Vedas, that's the flowering, the beautiful flowering of the feminine part of that Vedic path. It's the blossoming. That Vedanta is then what became, over the ages, and it continued even in the recent times with Adi Shankara, and then Paramahansa Yogananda, and then on and on. It's just continued. Mahavatar Babaji and all of that. All of that comes from Vedanta. All began with Saraswati ji. She just took that energy and merged it, and out of that she created something beautiful. So the book is about what follows after Saraswati ji speaks those words, and then the gods go into their journeys. And the journeys come from Ramayana to Mahabharata, to the life of Buddha and Yashodhara, and the book just unfolds. I ask all these questions to Lakshmi ji. What was it like to be Sita? What was it like to go through Agni Pariksha, which she says was a misunderstanding. Agni Pariksha was just how the sages who saw, and then Valmiki wrote from the inspiration he received about what happened, and there was a misinterpretation. Yes, there was fire around her, but this fire was her Kundalini awakening. Ram desired no such pariksha. The seventh part of Ramayana, called Uttarakhand. This part, even the academics now agree in universities, this part has been written 400-500 years after Valmiki first composed the Ramayana. This has been added. Valmiki did not live for 600-700 years. It has been added by the priests, by the sages who followed. So the story that Ram asks Lakshman to take Sita, a pregnant Sita, and abandon her in a forest based upon a rumor he heard on his nightly walk from a washerman. That is not true. This is all gossip. This is all created after 500 years after Ramayana was written. So when I ask these questions to Lakshmi ji, she reveals these truths. And every people of every religion believe that books of other religions have been corrupted. We believe that Bible has been corrupted, or some other scripture has been corrupted. But even our own scriptures are not 100% true. But we have an open path. The nice thing about Vedanta and Hinduism is that we have a live spirituality. Dead spirituality is where you have a book that was written thousands of years ago, and then you take it literally, and the words are dead. You cannot evolve them. That is a path in certain religions, or even in Hinduism, some people may be very attached to the words only of 2000 years ago. And life spirituality is where you have master after master after master. And for each age, the wisdom is presented in a different way. Some truths that were not revealed are revealed. Even Buddhism is a very live religion. So alive that in Vajrayana Buddhism, scriptures were written by Saraswati ji in her form as Yeshe Syogal, which is mentioned in Buddhist texts, that Guru Rinpoche Padmasambhava is inviting her, Saraswati, when are you coming? Saraswati, when are you coming? And then she is born as Yeshe, princess of Karshan. And then she grows up, goes through her lot of issues. She's so beautiful that everybody wants to marry her. And the tribal chiefs are competing for her, and they forcefully marry her, and then she escapes from one chief to the other chief. And then eventually the word of her beauty reaches the king at the time. And the king, offers to marry her unconditionally in the way she wants. And then the king invites Padmasambhava, the great guru from India, who is a great Vajrayana master. And he recognizes Yeshe, Saraswati's incarnation. And then they go off together. And in that incarnation, Yeshe, and this wisdom is not expressed in so much detail in the book. This will come in a future book. Yeshe scribes a lot of wisdom from Padmasambhava. She's Saraswati ji. She gets fully enlightened like Padmasambhava, fully. All 7 chakras open. They become rainbow bodies. Rainbow body is the topic coming in the next book, 1,000 Flowers of Joy. The body of light. Some people have this attainment in Tibet. Tibet is really, we think of it as another country, but if you think of the land, this is the most pure land of Vedas. This is where Mount Kailash is. This is where Lord Shiva meditated for years upon years. This is one of the greatest portals of Mother Earth. So he did not exactly meditate on Mount Kailash. He used Mount Kailash as a portal from another frequency where he energized the whole earth. So Tibet has got that beauty. And then because of that spiritual energy being so strong, even now when I went to Tibet in 2018, just before my mother's 75th birthday, and I spent about 21 days there. Even now, the people who come from China, to change them, they become Buddhists. That's the beauty of Tibet. It takes anybody's energy and transforms them, and and it's completely resonating with the spiritual energy even now, even after becoming a part of China politically. It is very, very vibrant. And so this is a live place, live religion. Saraswati ji would write as Yeshe all these scriptures. And then she knew, because they were so fully enlightened, rainbow body enlightenment, which is very rare. That's not happened to anybody we know in the last century, even in India. There's nobody who just left their body and the body just dissolved into light. We hear about Mahavatar Babaji. Yes, he might be rainbow body being, he's in Himalayas, so there are beings like that, but it's very rare. So in that incarnation, she wrote a lot of scriptures, and then some of them were scribed them with like on paper. Some of them were just mind forms that she created, and then she hid them under the lakes, under the stones. And they have a tradition of new treasury revealers. They're called tertons. They're born as lamas, as incarnations, and they find these scriptures at the right time for the right revelation. So this is how a live religion works, a live spiritual path. New knowledge is coming, always, like even thousand seeds of joy. It's new knowledge, but same like old knowledge. It is what the human mind is ready today to receive, which it was not hundreds of years ago. Suppose we'd revealed this wisdom 300 years ago. That seventh part of Ramayana is just made up. What would have happened to me? Imagine 300-400 years ago, when people were so strongly, maybe nothing would have happened. India, Hinduism always has had the culture of openness, but that openness has increased over the years. At least in other religions, when you were that open, you had to face consequences. What happened to Jesus Christ? So we do see, and then the same fear was there, not fear, but the same concern was there even in Buddhism. So these scriptures were hidden because the politicians, the kings would abuse them, and they were revealed later when the time was right. And they're still being revealed. So in that sense, there's a falling through yugas, from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapara Yuga to Kali Yuga, and now we're transitioning back to Satya Yuga. So different scriptures, different wisdom of the same stories has to be revealed in new ways, and that's what's happened in this book, and that is what's happening in the next book, Thousand Flowers of Joy. That is what takes us to Tibet, that book. In the world of Shiva, Parvati, in the world of Buddhism, Vajrayana, the world of rainbow bodies, in the world of dimensions and portals and universes, and a lot more information on body processes and tantras. So that's where we're going. The current book, this book, was an opening by Saraswati ji and Lakshmi ji about presenting the divine feminine, because these goddess women, Sita, Radha, Rukmani, Draupadi, Yashodhara, all of them have been presented as somewhat weak women. And when you read the book, you'll find how strong they are. They are the ones who are the pillars. And so maybe tomorrow, when we continue this, we'll talk more about their lives. Today, I just wanted to give you this little introduction. So maybe we'll now, it is already, it is already more than 1 hour. So we'll stop here and then we can take some question answers and then we can, and then we'll meet tomorrow.
Sure, sir. It was amazing.
Mm.
Whenever I read about the soul feelings, but the first time when I read about it, it was amazing. And again, hearing it from you, feelings and emotions, and also those 4 levels, and finally in the 4th level merging into the ocean or the shunya. It's purely amazing, sir. Thank you so much for your wisdom today. Yes, we
Welcome.
have some questions, sir.
Sure.
Can you please explain what was your common message that you mostly received by goddesses?
Like all of the goddesses, you mean?
Yeah. Is there any common message from all of them? Like,
Yeah, the common message is this, that all of them are agreeing upon. And it is actually very metaphysical also. I'll explain the metaphysics later, even with how physics is everything. The common message is that in the very ancient time, there was a way of living. And that way was where the feminine energy would be joined in a community like a sangha. And that feminine coming together acts like a guru. You don't need a guru. Because looking at each other as mirrors, you become the guru. Because everybody is connected, everybody's channeling. What creates a problem when you don't have a sangha in feminine is that, and if you're not devoted and dedicated to it, that you receive a message, you get enlightened, you receive a message from a God, and you propagate that message, and that becomes a religion. What happens is there is nothing as a mirror to stop you from getting your filter, your ego attached to the message. The message was true. It's true. Nothing wrong with the message. But soon it'll get corrupted because your I-ness, your ego has got attached to it. This happens to enlightened beings all the time. Not enlightened beings, but there are stages where you're getting enlightened and where you are having the aha moments, and yet the mind is also active, all is playing out together. And you convey something, some beautiful message, and then the ego wants attention. And then you become the guru, the patriarchal guru model, And then you're getting attention from everybody. And you're so enjoying that. That happens. And this is not the way of the future. This is why on Devi Circle, we don't have Ananda Karunesh's picture everywhere. We have our Devi teachers. We have our women Sangha. They are the ones in the limelight. And we want to emphasize a new way, which is not just a traditional guru model. It is a Sangha of divinely connected feminine energy. It could be males also. But they've asked right now to go back to the ancient times and create these women's circles. Women who have the intention of joining with a pure heart, pure soul, without the ego, being mirrors to each other. So if you're a channel for my issues, I look towards you. For your issues, I channel for you. It is very hard to channel for yourself. Very hard. Even the best channels, when it comes to themselves, how am I going to manifest money? How will I get a beautiful, amazing, handsome partner to marry? How will I do this? How will I do that? The I-ness continues. it basically becomes a filter. You cannot channel. The same person, when they're not connected to another person, if they're psychically open, they can channel for another person very nicely, beautifully, because there's no emotional connect. Right. So when you create a sangha, then the I-ness goes away, because for your issue, you look to the other devis. It's not that you're giving up your free will. We're not saying that. You use your judgment. You completely have a free mind and you're using your judgment. But you understand that sometimes your ego will overplay. Just in that understanding, when your ego will overplay, you look to the Sangha to come up also. And the joint wisdom of the Sangha propels the path forward. So in Devi Circle, the future is going to be our Devi teachers. We'll soon even have these meetings of goddesses where we are Devi teachers. Fortunately, all of them are connected to some goddess. Someone's connected to Mary Magdalene, someone's connected to Mother Mary, someone's a channel for Kuan Yin, someone's a channel for, Saraswati ji, like the next course. By the way, all of you are watching from October 5th, Dashera to 7th. We have a workshop, Devi Mind. And there's a Devi teacher, an amazing Devi teacher, Dr. Shalini Bahal. This is on Devi Circle, you can look it up. And she channels Saraswati. I've witnessed it myself. Tears flow, and she's not crying, and the messages are coming. And so she's also an academic researcher. So like there's a meeting like this of all the women, and then we'll speak, each goddess will speak. And that will be how the Sangha will meet. And that will direct Devi Circle. And that is how we will expand this path. So this is a Sangha model, and all goddesses are agreeing together that Lakshmi ji is not saying I am above Saraswati or Parvati ji is not saying I'm above Mother Mary. They're all in a circle of love. They're all dancing around the earth, planet Earth. And they're all from their heart adding love to humanity, opening the heart to the divine feminine. So this type of leadership, which is matriarchal leadership, which exists in the tribes of elephant, which exist even in human tribes in Africa and some places, where the mothers come together. And the mother energy can solve politics. Mother energy can solve social issues. The mother energies can solve economic issues. We've put the mother just in the house. The mother has to rise. The mother has to be all over the world. The mother has to be the prime minister. The mother has to be the corporate CEO. The mother has to be. If that energy of the mother comes on earth in a divine Sangha sense, we can save the earth. We can save humanity. And that is this movement. And that's what is common.
Wonderful, sir. It was amazing, actually, about the women circles and everywhere. All the women are equal and they share everything, and a compassionate listening space. So it's really amazing. Thank you so much. And I think even Divine Feminine Sangha is also based on the same principles, and it's really amazing, sir. Thank you. And this next question is, um, how did you know your purpose of life? Is that something you want to take, sir?
Well, purpose of life, the mind, it's a mind, if it's a mind question, how did my mind know the purpose of life? There is no answer. The mind really doesn't know the purpose of life. Mind is an instrument of thinking and emotions. And the purpose comes from your soul. The soul knows the purpose as it came from the higher self, from the shunya, emptiness. So your higher self gives the purpose through the soul to the mind. But how will you know it? Will you discover by thinking? No. Will you discover by fighting? By listening to your friends versus your parents, or parents versus other parents, or society versus... How do you find the purpose? If your father tells you you must become a scientist or a doctor, tells you every day because that was his dream, could not live his dream. Then you're on a spiritual path and you listen to him every day and you repress your spiritual path and you become a scientist. Is that your purpose? That's a mind infection, right? Your father's mind. To know your purpose, you can only do one thing: meditate. Meditate, read spiritual books, go inward, talk to your soul, listen to your soul. Soul will speak in whispers. Listen to those whispers. You'll find your purpose. Everybody has a unique purpose. So somebody's purpose might be to be a Krishna. Somebody's purpose might be to be more like Buddha. They're different. Energies are different. And somebody's purpose might be to be like a dancer, Radha. So everybody's purpose is different, but you'll find it not through using your mind. Mind will, of course, inform you. Mind is an informer, it's a communicator, but it's not the source. The source is your soul and your higher self. And the door to that is not through your mind, through your body. Breathe into it. Breathe and feel your soul into your body. Your body has a lot of information. You want to know your purpose? Ask your body. Ask your soul. Ask in the invisible spaces which have no ego, no conditioning, no society, no parents, no school, no teachers, none of that. Go inward and ask yourself and you'll find it. And it'll be unique. I don't know. I mean, that's how I found my purpose. I meditated, and I did not know till I turned 44 that my purpose, Lakshmi ji, for the first time, when the first conversation I had with her was delightful, was, half an hour, and I knew in that half an hour will change my life. And one of those days, she told me that, and this first conversation was with my collaborator, Jade Devi, through her. As I just said, in a Sangha, we work with each other, we channel for each other. So she said, you will work with women. I'm a finance professor at 44, publishing in a very masculine discipline, had a very Buddhist type path, and more about. And so, of course, I always had the divine feminine in me, but when she said, you will work with women and do that kind of work, and I was like, women groups, she said, and I was like, what is that? How can that be the purpose of my life? I could not figure it out. I just let it go, and it did not come back till 2019 or 20. Even when I finished writing the book, it was not so clear, Devi Circle and all that. And after 2020, Devi Circles came, and then, so the book had come before then. So the purpose will happen. The soul will let you know, just listen to yourself deeply. And sometimes even listen to another if you really trust their voice. But you have to make one judgment. Is the other really speaking from their soul, or they're speaking from their ego? Is your father or mother speaking from their conditioning? Or truly they are this completely giving being and it's coming from deep within their soul and they're informing you and that's your purpose? I'm not saying don't ever listen to another, listen to others. Sometimes they might be more, a guru type person might be more into meditation, and they'll say something, they'll open up a door, and then you go, then use that to turn within, but in the end, ask within. Anyway, that's the answer.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. We will just take one more question.
Yeah.
How to practice detachment in our daily lives with family, possessions, etc.?
Beautiful question. Everything is circular, goes back to what we began with. Look for emptiness and fullness. You've got family, you've got job, you've got a career, you've got pressures, you've got children, You've got all the things to take care of. Can you do it with more lightness? Can you start bringing emptiness into this fullness? An argument happened. Can you revisit the argument with less weight? Empty the argument. Empty the emotions. Does not empty the emotion does not mean removing the emotions. Empty the emotions, I explain how you do it. You welcome them. You make them a part of your whole body. Expand them, and then slowly you goes into emptiness. And that hold is not so much. The hold is much because the iceberg remains iceberg. You do not use your body and soul. So the emotion grabs you and it keeps you, it's like a tornado, it keeps moving you. The ego is like the eye of the storm, the hurricane, and then the ego, wherever it goes, the emotions just follow it around. A lot of destruction. We just happened in Florida 2 days ago, destruction just spreads. But can you dissolve this in your body, in your soul? So live the life, everyday life, but add emptiness to it, add the dimension. Change your vision. You're a divine being filled with soul feelings. Just see yourself differently. And then start dissolving everyday life into emptiness. You're never rejecting anything. You're only merging. Fullness is becoming emptiness. We started with 3 words. Emptiness is fullness. And those 3 words, just make them a part of your life.
Wow, amazing, sir. I think today we'll just take this beautiful message. Emptiness is fullness, and
Yes.
I think we can apply in each and every area of our life. It's
Yes.
beautiful, very beautiful, sir. And thank you so much for your wonderful wisdom today. And it was really amazing. So we look forward for the next 2 days. And thank you so much from all of our PMC UK team and Divine Feminine Sangha team, sir. Thank you so much. It was really wonderful and so happy listening to you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you for connecting and amazing. Love all of you and thank you all very much. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. So, my dear friends, on behalf of all of us, we thank Ananda Karunesh for joining us today. So, our next program will continue in Divine Feminine Sangha channel. Next program is by DNS Varnalata ma'am and Purnatma Sridhar sir. So that will be in Telugu. So that is about DNA activation and Dashamahavidyalu. So the session will follow. It will be live from Mahadrashta. So we'll just continue with that program. So in the meanwhile, please everyone sit in meditation. మిత్రులారా అందరూ కూడా చక్కగా ధ్యానంలో